Welcome to Storm Beat the Champ, presented by BowlersMart. As we continue from the ABC Gates Bowl in Rochester, New York, here's our lineup for today. Three-time champion Sam Dewitt III will try to knock off one of these talented bowlers, Peck, Chuck Jagodzinski, or Rob Piccoli. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Rochester, New York. I'm Paul Peck with Buffalo Bowling Hall of Famer Sue Nawojski. As you look at that lineup, you know these bowlers well. There is a lot of experience, a lot of winning, a lot of guys who know what to do to come up with a victory. What's that mean for today's show?
Yeah, what we have is experience, and they all have experience on television, so it kind of takes away that factor of being intimidated by the lights and being on TV.
All right.
And I think they all like the spotlight, so they're all
Yes.
going to want to stay in it.
Well, we know somebody that likes the spotlight. Let's bring in our three-time champion, Sam Dewitt III. You are enjoying being a three-time champion. You bowl all over the country. We know that about you. How important is it to kind of learn a little bit of the personality of the bowlers you're facing and maybe the place that you're bowling in?
Personality-wise, I feel like I just need to know who I can and can't talk to when they're coming off the approach. I don't want a bowler that's very, very focused and intimidated I don't want to have a conversation with them as they're coming off because I don't want to throw them off. And those that are ready to have a good time, I'm ready to laugh with them and just keep the mood going.
They have a good time until you start getting on a roll, which we have seen you do. We'll find out whether he's going to do it again. He has won 3 weeks in a row. He's trying to go for 4. We're excited. Going to be another fun edition of Storm Beat the Champ, presented by BowlersMart. We are ready to get going with Jagodzinski and Piccoli, so let's get rolling. You're watching Storm Beat the Champ, presented by BowlersMart on YouTube.
Like and subscribe to our channel now. Don't miss any of the action.
Beat the Champ is sponsored by Storm, the Bowlers Company. By BowlersMart, trusted by bowlers around the world since 2004. By Latina Boulevard Foods, your favorite family in food distribution. And by the New York State Bowling Proprietors Association. Rob Piccoli and Chuck Jagodzinski get us started here. It is week 2 at the ABC Gates Bowl in Rochester, New York, and we are ready because we know Chuck Jagodzinski is always ready.
He's already done.
Ready to go.
He's already done. Wasting no time up there in the lanes.
And I think the fun thing is we've got some Buffalo bowling legends on this show. Pat Brick is a Hall of Famer. Chuck Jagodzinski as well. Rob Piccoli considered one of the best bowlers in Buffalo. So this is an interesting lineup. Sometimes these don't fall in place where you get all Buffalo or Rochester or Pittsburgh or out-of-town guys. It kind of fell in place that you've got the Pittsburgh guy waiting to battle one of the Buffalo guys.
Right. As soon as I saw this lineup, I was like, wow, this is like old times here. These guys all know each other really well, have all competed against each other.
Yes.
And, I see a few similarities, with the way they're going to play the lanes. You're going to see both these guys go kind of down and in, up the boards, playing a little bit more to the right. So they're going to be in their similar zones when they bowl today.
40-year-old Rocket Rob Piccoli with an average of 235 in league play right now. And he is always one of the highest average league bowlers in the Buffalo area. Scoring and stats, powered by Jeremiah's Tavern, the perfect fit for any occasion. Penfield, Monroe Avenue, and Henrietta locations. So we've got Rocket Rob, we've got the Steel City Striker. I'm afraid to ask Pat or Chuck if they have some nicknames that they want us to refer to.
I don't know, but this was some really neat pin collision. Take a look at this.
I haven't seen you react that way in a long time. Oh yeah, I see why.
That went from ugly to uglier to great.
And that's 2 in a row where Chuck has left that 10 pin.
Yeah, the ball's hitting a little bit flat, not really driving the pocket. That's you saw that 6-pin lane in the gutter, leaving a flat 10. There's going to be a little bit of an adjustment necessary here to
57 years old from Lancaster, New York, with a 235 league average, and again, a lot of achievements on the incredible career of Chuck Jagodzinski.
That looks good.
There you go. You knew it, he knew it, and we all saw it.
Yeah, that is going to have to hit just high flush for him to carry. He doesn't want, he's not, the light hits aren't going to carry that great for him. But that was about as perfect as it gets.
That's textbook, right?
Great shot.
Put it in the pocket.
What a great shot that was.
Yeah, that was a neat way to see exactly where that ball hit. Rob Piccoli is making his 5th appearance here on Beat the Champ. Has yet to win, but that has nothing to do with the kind of bowler that he is. Just it's been a little bit of bad luck and running into some guys that were on a roll. But Rob Piccoli has been a regular on our show.
He is very steady in his personality. I mean, you never would know whether he's bowling good or bad, really, just by looking at him. And I, wonder if, if that has an effect in some ways. I mean, I guess keeping your head could be good, but
sometimes
I don't
the
see
emotion
fire
can
either.
drive you a little bit, can't it?
You'll see some fire out of Chuck, especially when things go bad.
Yeah, I'm sure that you'll tell me in your amazing career there were times when you got mad or angry, and sometimes it actually helped you bowl better.
Yeah, that's another great shot right there. Wow.
Yes, Chuck. Here's your disclaimer / warning as we watch a really nice 4th frame strike from Rob. About Chuck Jagodzinski, you will know exactly how Chuck is bowling without ever watching the pins.
I'll never forget my interview with Chuck, and I asked the wrong question, and it was supposed to be a short interview, and it turned into a long interview, and I didn't say much.
Chuck's making his 2nd appearance here on Beat the Champ. We have not seen him since our first set of shows last year, so he kind of joked with us like it's my annual once-a-year appearance here on your show, which we know is him being self-deprecating. So.
Yeah, we know that's not what he wants. Not a good shot there.
No. A little struggle there on the first ball of the 5th frame for Chuck Jagodzinski.
I mean, I think this is not an easy spare either with that sleeper back there.
And it will be an open frame in the 5th for Chuck Jagodzinski. 5th frame now for Rob Piccoli. 2 strikes and 2 spares to get his match started. The fun thing that we know about Rob Piccoli is if there's a league and a night that he's available, he's bowling in it.
That's right. He's a strong league bowler.
Yeah, 4 leagues a night at the moment, but that is always pending someone calling him up on one of the other 3 nights going, hey, you want to come bowl in our league?
Sub?
Yeah, Rob is one of those guys that if he's not at work, where he is a produce manager, then you're going to find him in a bowling center.
And who wouldn't want Rob to be subbing on your team, right? He's going to give you a...
Absolutely. Yeah. Ooh.
Yep.
What happened there?
He pulled it in on the side of the target a little bit, and it held decent, but the leave was not good because that's a difficult spare to make for not a real terrible shot. See, it was a little high on the head pin.
So when you talk about target, give everybody that doesn't live this sport like you do what you mean by getting off of the target.
All right. Well, I'm going to point it out when we come back from the break.
Yep.
We'll take a look at what people are using for targets.
All right, we'll continue with our first match here on Beat the Champ.
I like storm bowling.
I love storm for so many reasons.
What I love about storm the most has got to be the people we have.
I win with them more.
The people at Storm really care about the sport, and they truly are the bowlers company.
I get to live out my dream and bowl on tour, and that's all because of one company.
The willingness and the strive for excellence in winning. It's all about winning.
Presented by BowlersMart.
Plenty of options.
Chamois, jerseys, balls, bags, and shoes. The highest quality products you'll find on the market, and here at BowlersMart, we make sure to find the correct access point of any bowler to maximize their benefits from our products and ensure a great experience. Stop by today and let us help you, because at BowlersMart, every bowler matters.
All right, after an 8-pin open frame in the 5th, Chuck has got to bounce himself back here in the 6th frame. 88 career, 300 games, a high 883 career series. He is a 2-time Buffalo Bowler of the Year as Chuck Jagodzinski, and the troubles from the 5th frame continue here in the 6th.
Yeah, he's definitely missing inside of his target. Both these guys play, like I said, right to left. And when they do make a mistake, it's going to be missing to the left. And one thing about these tougher lane conditions, we talked about last week about the oil ratio. We should probably talk about it again, that you're not going to get the hold in the middle that you will get from a house shot on this. So when they do miss in, the ball is going to.
And there's Chuck bouncing back with a strike in the 7th. I want to follow up what I asked you before the break. You talk about target. Explain a little bit what it means. What's the target? Where? How does it impact the results?
So in this case, you're looking for, you want to have the right amount of oil to your left and the right amount of oil to your right, and that's your target. It's going to be where you pick, where your ball, your game meets that. So in Chuck's case, he's playing second arrow. So when we watch Chuck bowl, he should be going straight up the second arrow. And when that's a good shot. Anything right of that is a miss. Anything to the left of that is a miss.
As you taught me, as I dabbled in a little bit of bowling this past off season
Very
up at
proud of
Cherry
you.
Laurel
Very
Lanes,
proud of you.
the target is not always the pins. Sometimes it's something on the lane leading down to the pins.
No, your target is mostly a line. I like to say, rather than just be, he hit second arrow, which is probably his target, but he missed his target beyond second arrow. So we're going to look at this, and although the ball will hit second arrow, we're watching it right here, and that's his target, the line he's drawing should be straight up the lane, and that one went diagonally. So when you're talking about a target, most people say hit the second arrow, but if you hit the second arrow going right, you're going to miss. If you hit the second arrow going left, it's in this case you're going to miss. So it's easier to draw a line in your mind from your target down the lane a little bit, so it's more of a projection.
Boy, and that one, again, looked like he had the right target, the right line, hit the pocket, but again, leaves the 10-pin.
And that's going to be a shot that really bothers him because he liked the shot. It hit the pocket, pretty high flush, and it also would have put him in the lead. And now he stays, just chasing Rob a little bit. That strike there would have given him a double, and that would have put him ahead in the match. So a tough 10-pin for him. 9th
frame now for Chuck Jagodzinski. And as you saw, again, the 10-pin.
Back to back. Again, we're looking at it. Hits his target, and it rolls up nicely. Just a little bit flat, so the ball's just quitting a little bit instead of driving through.
And there's a little of the frustration that comes out in missing the spare.
And I can tell you right what happens there. As a bowler, I'm going to tell you that you're still thinking about that shot. You're still thinking about the fact that you threw a good shot and it didn't strike. And it's like one of the things you have to do is clear your brain and go make that 10-pin, because if you're still thinking about the shot you just threw, you lose your focus.
All right, so Rob Piccoli, as we told you, looking for his first win here on the show, is in position to be able to do it with his opponent leaving 2 open frames, and that one at least gets a little bit of help from that sliding pin.
Just a little bit high. And again, you can see that you can almost watch him fall off his feet a little bit. He's had steadier shots. He's had shot where he's fallen off his feet. When he's fallen off his feet, the ball has gone left, which means it's a timing issue. So he's getting a little bit fast, and he falls off at the line, tugs the ball just a little bit.
All right, so all Rob Piccoli needs here is a mark to win this match, regardless of what Chuck Jagodzinski does. And again, it's not been pretty. Only 4 strikes here and an open frame for Rob, but taking advantage of his opponent struggling, and that's what he needed.
Great shot under pressure.
So a strike to begin the 10th frame for Rob Piccoli is going to get him his first Beat the Champ victory.
On the replay there, you could see that although, again, he rolled over second arrow, both on the right lane and the left lane, just about 6-7 inches past there, he was 3-4 boards different, and that's the difference in hitting.
Yeah, now that one was a little bit right of the second arrow, but that almost
the
played
friction is to the right.
To the curve.
You don't want
break
to
of the
miss in
ball.
on this pattern, and that's missing in you can get away with on a house shot because of the units of oil in the middle, because of the ratio from wet to dry. But on a flatter shot like this, you cannot get away with pulling the ball. There's a tester for him. He tested out a ball to see how that would roll.
Yeah. So Rob Piccoli with a 203, going to be enough to advance to match number 2. So it's going to be Piccoli and Pat Brick. It's coming up on Beat the Champ. It is match number 2 here on Storm Beat the Champ, presented by BowlersMart. Pat Brick against Rob Piccoli. Piccoli with the 203 to 178 victory over Chuck Jagodzinski to get us started. So the 40-year-old from Kenmore, New York, with the 235 league average, Rocket Rob Piccoli takes on a guy that he knows very well, another Buffalo legendary bowler in Pat Brick. We'll talk more about Pat in a moment. And a little jiggle on the 4, but not enough to go down.
Yeah, not a bad shot. Just rolled up a little high. Again, we're going to see with his type of game where he's playing the lanes from right to left, you'll most likely see his slight errors being high.
And a spare pickup on the first frame for Rob Piccoli. And here comes Pat Brick, 58 years old, from Tonawanda, New York, with a 230 league average. But that does not begin to tell the story of the amazing career and accomplishments, and no one knows that and knows him better than you do.
Yeah, we've been basically in the same circles since I started. So, our families interact. His wife bowled with me. And we're all pretty close friends, so I see him a lot. But he is dedicated to the sport of bowling and still spends his weekends competing. And he loves it to be with his friends. George Zabluski's normally with them. I mean, they got a real tight-knit group that play off each other, learn off each other, motivate each other. And, still a great bowler.
What makes him so good?
Smart. There's gets to be a point where maybe you're not as powerful as you once were, but you're smarter. And, he knows when he's got it, he knows when he doesn't. I mean, he knows his equipment. Like, he's choosing urethane to go with today to smooth out the lane. I mean, he's very wise.
And as I have learned from you, this is a game that is at least 50% upstairs in your head and 50% with your right or your left arm.
It might even be more. It might be more mental than it is physical. I mean, again, there's perfect fundamentals, and I'll go back to Brandon Martin with that. And we see a lot of good fundamentals, but then there's ones that really jump out at you that are going to get you through thick and thin, But still, you don't have to be perfect to be great at this game. You just have to repeat. And so you can get away with a little bit less perfection physically if you're smart mentally.
And a good strike in the second frame for Rocket Rob Piccoli. 20 career 300 games, a high 817 amongst his 7 career 800 series for Rob Piccoli. And that's 2 really good throws that wind up right in the right place and get all those pins down.
Right. And with someone like Rob, 817, everybody loves to have an 800. That's much more difficult to get than a 300 because you're talking about putting 3 games together during transition when lanes change. You make choices with bowling balls and all of that. But you see a lot of scores higher than 817. But what you're going to get from Rob is just no low scores. You're not going to see him shoot something really low. He's going to be real steady.
Amongst the amazing things Pat Brick has done in his career, he won a national collegiate bowling title, and then his bowling career puts him in the Buffalo Bowling Hall of Fame. He has won the Obenauer Masters, did that in 2004. That is the preeminent and toughest bowling tournament in Western New York. So whatever needs to be done in the sport, Pat Brick has done it, and he is doing it today. 4 frames and 4 strikes.
Yep, that's right. He's been super steady. He's got, oh, look at that intensity.
Oh, yeah, look at that.
Wow.
I think you'll tell me most people think Pat is just about the nicest guy you'll ever cross paths with in a bowling center, but that was a look of, I'm not here to mess around.
I'm really excited to see that. That was looking at your target, following through, liking your shot, and saying, "Don't you dare stand up on me."
You mean like that?
Like that.
Like that 7-pin
like
just
that.
did. Yes.
I mean, when I talk about Rob being so steady, that's one of the things you don't see out of Rob. You're not going to see him standing up there staring down a pin. He sort of just takes what he gets and goes back to work.
So it's a spare in the 4th frame for Rob Piccoli. He'll slide over to the left lane here at the ABC Gates Bowl. So you might have noticed that Rob switched balls there on the spare. What do you think is going on there? What's in his mind?
Well, I'm not going to tell you that I haven't done the same thing, so I relate to it completely. If I think I'm going to have to help the ball, especially when you're talking about right to left spares as a right-hander. You should always make your spares on the left when you're a right-hander, right? And there's times when there might be a lot of oil in the middle of the lane. There might be time. In this case, he probably wants to smooth down the back of the lane. He doesn't want the ball to snap on him and miss a spare to the left.
All right, so we saw it happen right there.
Right, he's going to go to a stronger ball that is actually going to kind of roll out and not do anything surprising on the lane. And that's another thing about smarts. We're talking about, thinking when you bowl. You think you're just a simple adjustment, but when you're talking about less oil in the middle of the lane, you're going to get a lot more hook through the middle. So if he goes to something stronger, it's going to smooth that out.
So when you talk about a stronger ball, it is less prone to the conditions of the lane.
I'm so glad you asked me that. Great strike there by Pat. It is deceptive what surface does to a ball. When you see a ball with surface, you automatically say, this ball's going to hook more. A lot of times when there's less oil in the lane, the ball will roll out, which means it'll use up all its energy because there's no oil for it to go through. So that's another part of being smart, is you really have to judge whether a ball you think is a stronger ball in your bag, even on less oil, you may pull that out because you're going to want to tame the back ends. Controlling the back ends is a big part of this game. So, it's not always stronger or weaker. It's really what you're trying to accomplish.
All right, well, here in the 6th frame, we're going to get our first look at what Pat Brick does with his spares, because that's the first time he didn't strike. And you see the lonely 10-pin waiting to get smacked to the back of the deck, and it does.
Got stuck a little bit there.
We'll take a time out here. We're in a good one between Rob Piccoli and Pat Brick. It is Storm Beat the Champ, presented by BowlersMart.
The Western New York area has long been considered one of the best anywhere for the sport of bowling.
And no matter where you live, we have lanes nearby.
For top competition,
Fun with family and friends,
great food and drink, or just a night out, we got you.
We are the Bowling Proprietors
Of Western New York. Stop in and enjoy our sport today.
12X Tech Bowling Supplies is committed to continuing the decades-long tradition of excellence established by the DeSanto family. We are the ultimate destination for customer service, experience, and product variety. We offer an extensive inventory of balls, bags, shoes, and accessories. Our unique fitting and drilling process, combined with our in-house lane, ensures a perfect fit every time. With a range of repair and maintenance services, we can help keep your gear performing at its best. Consult our team today at 1000 Highland Drive in the J. Scuddy South Plaza, conveniently located off of 390 in Henrietta.
Sixth frame for Rob Piccoli. Got a little work to do because of Pat Brick putting up strikes on the front side 5. So Rob Piccoli with 3 spares and 2 strikes in his first 5 has got some catching up to do, but there is plenty of time for that. And that's how you do it. Coming off the win over Chuck Jagodzinski to get us started. Winner of this match takes on Sam Dewitt, our 3-time champion.
Yeah, that was a really good shot right there, and I think for him, his timing has a lot to do with the end result today. So that was a good shot. He's got to put a couple together here, though, because he's a little bit behind.
So let's see if he can grab his second double of this match. Rob striking in frames 2 and 3, and striking in 6 and 7 now.
Just a little slap on that 10, getting it out. That's a big shot for him. Second half of the game now, it's doesn't have time for any of these taps anymore. He's got to put them together.
Second appearance on our show here for Pat Brick. We had a chance to see him towards the middle of season number 1. And again, the fact that we only saw him once is a surprise in itself based on how good a bowler and everything that we've told you about Pat Brick. So it's always good to have him back on the show here.
Hey, we sit here. We sit here and we talk about Pat. I mean, the toughest critic for Pat is Pat. And he just gets a little bit down on himself unnecessarily. I mean, we know how good he is, and sometimes he just has to remind himself.
And don't forget, every one of these bowlers that you see on this show or last week or in the ensuing weeks are all eligible to qualify for our Beat the Champ Invitational at the end of the year. How about that one?
Off his hand, I was like, that shot is too good to leave a 7. So I'm really glad that Messenger did get that knocked over.
Pin on the very last quarter of a roll took out the 7.
Yeah, it didn't have a lot of power on it, but it had enough.
That's awesome. So if you were with us towards the end of season number 1, you saw that season-ending show won by Ty Ingles, our Beat the Champ Invitational. That was a lot of fun. Essentially, our playoff show. We're going to do that again this year, and all of these guys are going to be eligible to qualify for that.
Yeah, that was a great week.
So Rob trying to get his spare here in the 8th frame, and he's got it. All right, so 9th frame now, and Rob needs to finish strong here.
Yeah, there's no margin for here anymore. He's down 32 pins, and his opponent has a strike up with his ability to make it 10 more. So he's got to just reckless abandon here.
And maybe that's exactly what he thought, and the results show it. Strike in the 9th. So Pat Brick with that lead, again, he'll have the chance to finish up here and set the tone.
I mean, we're watching these guys duke it out just shot by shot, and you don't realize that, you know, Pat's going at a 279 pace here. He's just had the one tap.
And yet another strike.
He's making that urethane ball look really good.
So you can see just by the finish of the ball that it looks different than some of the other ones that the guys are using.
Well,
and that's part of what you're talking
well,
about
there's
with
a
the
great debate.
material.
The great debate is urethane, and it's not the same urethane that was the second evolution of bowling, like went rubber, plastic, and then urethane was the big savior. It's not. It's new technology with an old name, but it is the great debate out there where urethane falls in people's games. You know, I mean, it smooths out the lane. There's no doubt about it, but it makes some drastic differences to the oil pattern. It changes it up quite a bit. So you know your normal moves won't be normal, and so when it hits the pins though, it'll smooth out the condition, but you might lose some hit where, you know, Pat's making it look like he's not losing anything off that urethane. So.
All right, one more fill ball here in the 10th frame for Pat to post up the final score. And he gets the strike to finish it, and it's Pat Brick who puts an impressive 258 on the board, and that is enough to send him to our championship match. One of the best ever in Buffalo is going to try to steal away the win streak by one of the best we've had on our show. It's going to be a finals matchup of Pat Brick and Sam Dewitt III, and that is coming your way, and it's going to be fun as we watch Rob finish out here. Good win over Chuck Jagodzinski to get to this match. Good performance here, but I'm sure Rob will be the first to tell you, when you bowl Pat Brick, you better be darn near perfect, or you're going to lose, and that's kind of what happened.
Well, all 9 counts. You know, it's not like he threw any real terrible shots.
Nope, no opens.
Just didn't have as good of a look as Pat did.
So the final score goes up on the board for Rob Piccoli as a 258 to 216 win for Pat Brick. It is Brick and Dewitt. It's our championship match. It's coming up next on Beat the Champ. You're watching Storm Beat the Champ, presented by BowlersMart on YouTube.
Like and subscribe to our channel now. Don't miss any of the action.
It's our championship match. 3-time winners Sam Dewitt III and Pat Brick, and it's going to be Brick that's going to try to put an end to that winning streak. Pat off the 258 to 216 win over Rob Piccoli is going to try to be the guy to end this run. If Sam Dewitt is able to win this match, that'll give him 4 weeks in a row within one of the high from last season.
Yeah, based on what I've seen is, you know, the left-hand side has had a little less play. And said the only thing that could hurt Pat would be an open. That could be the only opening that he could leave for Sam. And here we go.
Getting that out of the way in the first frame.
Yeah, I guess if you're going to do it, this is the place to do it.
Yeah, so as you can see, it's a 6-7-10 left for Pat Brick. And the strategy will be to get to 2, and
try to bounce
that's what
it
he's
over.
going to get. Yep, try to. So an inauspicious start for Pat Brick with an open and a nasty split, and we'll see whether that sets a tone or not for our 37-year-old from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, with the 247 league average and the 3 straight wins here on our show. 2 to wrap up the first season, 1 from last week.
All right, so Sam got to choose as the high qualifier whether we want to start or, you know, we don't really know why he chose it, but he did choose to have Pat start. And right back at you.
Oh boy, how about these two incredible bowlers are? I don't know what's going on right now.
Well, I think the right side has become a little consistent. He got that way out, and that would be fine, but he's real deep on the lane now. So that is definitely a little bit too far right for what he's looking to do.
Well,
wow,
he
nice
tried.
try.
He gave it a good little run.
That is not the usual way a right-hander goes after it, but the definitely best way to make it.
All right, so wipe away the first frame for both guys because we're even with 9-pin opens.
Right, this is now a 9-frame game.
Not what we expected, and I would be surprised if we see any more of that. But for whatever reason, our championship match has started off in a very odd way.
Well, that is where the flatter pattern will, it magnifies your mistakes. So the lanes have changed. There's been a lot of play on the right.
And good pin action will get Sam Dewitt the strike in the second.
Yep, that snapped up a little high on him. Luckily, he got the break. And let's see if Pat's shot was just bad or if the lanes were changing on him. That's one thing we don't know. I mean, because the lanes are going to evolve and change, but Pat would know if that was just a bad shot.
Pharmacy tech is the profession for Pat Brick when he is not hanging out at bowling centers. And this is not the start that he wanted, and frankly that we all remember. Last match he started off with 5 consecutive strikes, and
yeah, nothing wrong with that shot. That was just just a ring 10.
Oh, that was
that
close.
Was close.
That was closer than I think he would have liked it to be, and I think you see him shaking his head and
well,
muttering.
He's stuck on a 7. He's stuck on a 10. So he's struggling a little bit on the corners of the lanes. Whether it's just his feet. Sometimes you feel like you're stuck, but your feet got a little fast. Like it could not be sticking, but either way, made the spare. So now he's got to make his adjustment on this lane.
That one just did not break and kind of ran out of steam.
Well, you can see he's a little confused by that, so it's definitely not what he expected to happen.
Got it a little high as well.
Yeah, the ball hooked a lot more for him than what he thought. So he's going to have to figure out what his adjustment to that is going to be.
All right, let's see how he can handle the picket fence of the 2-4-7. All right, that's a good pickup for Pat. Is it time to think about changing balls for Pat Brick?
Well, for sure he is. Because the one thing about urethane balls is they are definitely temporary balls, and they are meant to smooth out a inconsistent lane surface. So they're not meant to last the whole day. So you could tell the wheels were turning when he was looking at the results of that last shot.
Third frame, Sam Dewitt.
I think we've seen these lanes break down.
Literally in the last 2
minutes.
Yeah,
I mean, they're definitely going to break down tougher when the pattern is what it is. And this is where you're going to see like a house shot or a modified sports shot. It can get ugly, it can get nice. It all depends. And people have been playing all different parts of the lane, so that oil has been shifted all over the place. You had both those guys in the last match going right to left, so you're pushing the oil into the break point that these guys are trying to use, and it's getting squirrely for them out there.
All right, spare as he takes the 2-pin out in the third frame for the Air Force veteran who is employed at the VA hospital in Pittsburgh, Sam Dewitt III, but is a high-level touring bowler all throughout the Pennsylvania, the Northeast, wherever there's a bowling ball and 10 pins in a parking lot somewhere. I think Sam will take a ride to try to see what he can do.
He's opening up an awful lot. That ball's got a long way to come back, and what you're seeing is the ball running out of energy because it's really taking a long trip back to the pocket.
Junior College All-American is a college bowler at the Community College of Allegheny County outside of Pittsburgh. One of the career highlights for Sam Dewitt, a 300 at the 2025 PBA Players Championship. So he has done great things at high levels, including right here on this show. So, but Pat Brick, again, one of these guys that we know he knows how to make the adjustments, and if the lanes are acting weird, he'll figure out how to unweird them.
Well, he's chosen.
Or maybe not.
He's chosen to stay with that ball. And his adjustment obviously wasn't the right one. Came up light. That's definitely a bucket for on his side.
Yeah, all right. So let's see if he can empty the bucket here of that very odd-looking second shot leave. And he will not get all of them.
Definitely a risk.
Yeah, so boy, we have seen a lot of very odd / weird stuff going on here in this championship match from our host center for Storm Beat the Champ, presented by BowlersMart. It's ABC Gates Bowl, and you can find them online at abcgatesbowl.com. They're just one of our many great host centers, and if you want details on how you can be a part of Beat the Champ, just stop in at any of the host centers and ask them, how can I be on the show? And we might be seeing you here on the lanes, and if we are seeing you here on the lanes, hopefully you're not leaving any buckets or picket fences or any of the stuff we've seen the last 10 minutes.
Well, we talked about whether he should have made a ball change before, and he chose not to, left a bucket. And if you're not lined up, a bucket's hard to make because you've got all those pins together. Now he did make a ball change on this one. It was a great ball change. He hit the pocket. Unfortunately left a 7-pin, but you know what? When you're changing balls and you're just taking your best shot at it, I'm sure he was happy to hit the pocket.
All right, Sam Dewitt in the 5th frame here. We'll see what Sam does here, and then I'm gonna tell you as I'm looking at my score sheet here why it looks so strange. Well, it looks so strange because Pat Brick's first 5 shots are 3 spares and 2 opens. Sam Dewitt's are potentially 3 spares, 1 strike, and 1 open. Only 1 strike from these 2 amazingly talented bowlers through the first combined 10 frames.
Well, the lanes have gotten, I call it squirrely, but they have become hard.
Is that a technical bowling term?
Hard to predict. Yeah, they're hard to predict. And that's why spares are going to be super important.
Is that on my
right
list,
now.
bowling glossary list
Squirrely?
that I'm always checking?
Sure, you can put squirrely on there.
Right,
I
had bucket
know.
on there. You got me on the bucket there. So,
All right, we're looking at a 16-pin difference here, and that's really just down to making the spare.
Yeah.
Pat had that open in the 4th. And
so what's interesting about this is, again, these guys are both great, but now they're both struggling. The lanes are being difficult. So who figures out a way to outsmart the lane conditions? And maybe Sam DeWitt's strike in the 6th is the beginning of that. This should be very interesting. Come on back when we return to Beat the Champ.
It's such a special community.
Storm is the bowlers company, more knowledgeable.
The company really cares about bowling. The products are great.
And the bowling balls smell good.
X Tech Bowling Supplies is committed to continuing the decades-long tradition of excellence established by the DeSanto family. We are the ultimate destination for customer service, experience, and product variety. We offer an extensive inventory of balls, bags, shoes, and accessories. Our unique fitting and drilling process, combined with our in-house lane, ensures a perfect fit every time. With a range of repair and maintenance services, we can help keep your gear performing at its best. Consult our team today at 1000 Highland Drive in the J. Scuddy South Plaza, conveniently located off of 390 in Henrietta.
So the key now for Pat Brick as he gets ready to go in the sixth frame is essentially to forget the first 5.
Well, both guys have sort of reset here in the second half because there wasn't much to talk about in the first half that they'd want to repeat. We got a ball change here for Pat. First shot with it, hit the pocket. Good sign for that. And we'll see how it looks on now the right lane.
And there you go.
And you can see what a difference, how much longer that ball went down the lane. He's moved in some, yes, but he was trying to force that purple, the urethane ball down the lane. This one just goes down the lane longer. You see it's making its break much further down the lane, giving a much more consistent ball reaction.
So trying to get a little bit away from some of the oil by getting it farther down the lane?
He's getting away from the dry.
The dry, okay.
So now we're looking at a 16-pin match here, but I think same leave as the last one on that lane, but he's definitely got a much better shot to the pocket. So now it's just going to be how Sam's adjustment works for him. Nice shot.
Let's see what Pat thought about it. Oh, did not love it. He gets the spare though in the 7th frame.
He liked the
Pat
shot.
Brick.
He just didn't like what happened after.
All right, we have not had a double yet in this match. Here's a chance for Sam Dewitt in the 7th frame. Pat Brick went strike spare in frame 6 and 7. And there's our first double. Strikes in 6 and 7 for Sam Dewitt. Maybe that's the point in this match where Sam has figured something out.
Well, Sam he's still playing the same part of the lane on the right lane, so he didn't move on the right. He just made an adjustment on the left because he's still using the dry boards out here on the right. And it worked out for him, and he needed that.
In his 3 championship matches that have allowed him to win 3 in a row, Sam DeWitt's bowled 255, 268, 224. I don't know that he's going to come close to any of those numbers based on the way this match has been going.
Yeah, this left lane is fighting off the strikes from both these guys.
If you were with us on last week's show when Sam won 3 in a row, he told us the great story of bowling at a tournament in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and having a total stranger come up to him and said, "Hey, aren't you Sam DeWitt from Beat the Champ?" That is pretty cool for us to be part of this show, for people to be watching it in a lot of different places, and it's got to be a little cool for Sam. Not quite as cool as getting that one to go. He knew it too. He knew he was lucky on that one.
He's built up a little bit of a lead now. He's 25 pins ahead, and he certainly doesn't want to give any of that back. Now Pat's lined up. He just has to knock all the pins down.
And there you
Good
go.
shot.
Good shot.
So backpedaling to the choice of where to start, where the higher qualifier has the choice of whether they want to start the match, whether they want to be the finisher, whether they want the other person to finish, what lane they want that person to finish on. The high qualifier gets to make that decision, and only they know what the nuances of the lanes are. They get some practice on it and they make that choice. And it does appear that the left lane has been a little bit tougher. So I wonder if there's a method to Sam's madness. Finally got that carry on the left lane.
Well, if Pat has figured out the left lane, then it wasn't necessarily what Sam might have played for the strategy.
Yeah, but there's been a lot to get to this point. I mean, we're looking at the first half of the game was definitely an adjustment for both these guys.
All right, 9th frame now for Sam DeWitt. I thought there was a chance that one would come flying over. Watch the pin action here.
Oop, went behind. It was going.
All right, so Sam gets the spare in the 9th.
Big spare there.
So he'll move over, left lane. He needs 2 strikes and a 7. And a 7, correct.
So this is really tightened. This match is really tightened up. I mean, 2 strikes on any of these lanes together is definitely not a given.
We've only had 5 strikes total.
Right. So he needs 2 strikes and 7 to shut Pat out.
And that's not going to get
on
it
the
there.
lane. Here we go on the lane that proved itself to be a little tougher to carry on.
So are you wondering if maybe Sam regrets that choice?
Yeah, but we don't know if it was due to the lanes or if he just wanted to post his score and have Pat come up and finish. So there's a couple different reasons he could have made that choice. But this lane definitely played out to be the tougher lane.
All right, so a spare to open up the 10th and 1 more to go for a final score to be posted. So let's see. So Sam wants them and needs them all here to put more pressure on Pat.
Well, either way, Pat's... Oh, that messenger missed again.
Once again, the messenger does not deliver.
It didn't matter at this point, but Pat is going to need a double no matter what.
All right, so 193 is the posted final score for Sam Dewitt, and that's what Pat Brick needs in the 10th frame. He needs 2 strikes. He is working a double right now. First of the match for Pat Brick. Been in situations like this hundreds of times in his stellar bowling career.
He's just glad to have a chance to get up and throw the ball.
Ooh, and that isn't going to make it happen. And Sam Dewitt is going to continue to be our champion. And when we talk to him following the break, I'm curious. That look tells you everything, and that's your winner, by the way.
Yep.
So Sam Dewitt III gets his 4th consecutive victory, and it wasn't easy. We'll find out how hard it was when we come back.
Presented by BowlersMart.
Plenty of options.
Chamois, jerseys, balls bags, and shoes. The highest quality products you'll find on the market, and here at BowlersMart, we make sure to find the correct access point of any bowler to maximize their benefits from our products and ensure a great experience. Stop by today and let us help you, because at BowlersMart, every bowler matters.
The Western New York area has long been considered one of the best anywhere for the sport of bowling.
And no matter where you live, we have lanes nearby.
For top competition,
Fun with family and friends,
great food and drink, or just a night out, we got you.
We are the Bowling Proprietors
Of Western New York. Stop in and enjoy our sport today.
Beat the Champ is sponsored by Storm, the Bowlers Company. By BowlersMart, trusted by bowlers around the world since 2004. And by the Bowling Proprietors Association of Western New York. Stop in and enjoy our sport today. We'll talk about grinding out a win for Sam Dewitt's 4th in a row. Sue, what changed to make that last match so tough?
Well, we talked about the condition being a challenge, and sometimes it's how it plays out. And in this case, the guys playing the lanes differently. You got left-handers, right-handers, and the way their games are, move the oil around the lane and made it challenging. And that was simply how oil gets moved on a lane.
Yeah. Is challenging the word you would use?
Extremely challenging. I am happy I got to show off the best part of my game, which is my spare game. It's usually what keeps me in tournaments is my spares. I didn't think that spares would give me a win today at all. I really didn't.
Yeah, we're so used to you putting up big scores, but you were clean through that match, and really that was the difference.
Minus the first frame. But yeah, that's I always call my spare ball my MVP because it's the best ball out of my bag usually, and just lucky to be able to live another game.
All right, he is living another game. We're going to see him try to go for 5 in a row when you join us next week right here